Hey Liam, Mariah here. It's always a pleasure to be reading for you. Hopefully you're doing good. Hopefully you're okay. Hopefully you're all right. And if you're not, I hope that you feel better soon. I hope you get better soon. So let's get into your reading. I'm so curious to see just what comes out for you, right? I'm leaving it very much so open-ended. Let's see what's going on with you right now. Okay, Leo. So let's check and see what is happening for you at present moment. Let's see what is going on for my Leo spirit, angels, ancestors. We have change. These transition, change, all those kind of cards keep popping out for you. So let's see. One more. Compassion. Okay. Bottom of the deck is purity, and I think we had this at the bottom on a different reading not too long ago. So again, for you, we do have change and we have compassion. What I think is really interesting is that you have the owl on this card, which speaks about wisdom, which speaks about knowledge. So I want to see in what way here, Leo. Let's see more for you. What's going on, my Leo spirit? What is it that's happening with our Leos? What is it that they need to know at this present moment? Thank you. We have the Empress. Okay. We have the King of Pentacles in the reverse, the Queen of Swords, Page of Swords in the reverse, and the Four of Wands in the reverse. Bottom of the deck is you. Again, we had your energy come out in the last reading, and now here it comes again on the bottom of the deck in the reverse. So first and foremost, I just got to get this out the way. I mean, you're definitely in a space of knowing your worth, your value, understanding what it is that you need and that you desire. And you don't have the tolerance at this time to deal with people or maybe a specific person that does not see and value your worth. You've already seen enough of how they've treated you or what they may expect of you or how they've handled you. And at this point, you would rather have your own peace versus have to deal with the person or people who don't see your worth and value. It's not worth it to you. It's truly not worth it to you. Yeah, you've seen enough. You've seen all you needed to see. You may have even been compassionate with these people to maybe give the benefit of the doubt, maybe try to be understanding, maybe try to understand their side, maybe try to even make changes within yourself to try and align yourself, how you're operating, how you're behaving, or the situation at hand with this person. But even then, it still wasn't enough. It's still not good enough. It still didn't rectify a situation, and you're just like, I'm done. I don't want to deal with that. Can I ask you something? Like sincerely though, like sincerely. And obviously you can't respond because this is the video, but just cards aside, sincerely. Why do you do this certain thing? And what I mean by that is, on the outside, you have this demeanor, you have this persona, if you will. And I don't mean it in a fake way, please don't take it there. But you hold yourself outwardly to a certain regard, and as you should. But on the inside, I'm looking at a person who may be struggling with being vulnerable with themselves, being vulnerable with what is going on in their life right now. Let me give you an example of this. This feels like I'm talking to, and I know this ain't gonna be for everybody, but I feel like I'm talking to a Leo who on the outside, they have to show a brave face. They have to come off as this Empress energy. I don't care if you're a man or woman, you have to come off as this Empress energy. You give this light, or you radiate such confidence, such brilliance, such high esteem, but on the inside, we're struggling. On the inside, we're struggling with our vulnerability. On the inside, we're struggling with ourselves. And it may feel like you don't feel necessarily safe to be vulnerable. That's not your safe zone. That's not a safety net for you. That's not a comfort zone, is your vulnerability. So I'm looking at you regressing. Typically that happens when we suppress things internally. And this is why I'm seeing this paradigm or this dynamic of you on the outside shining this light and coming off in such a magnified way, but on the inside, I feel like I'm talking to the child version of you. And I don't say that to say you're immature. I don't say that to say that you're being juvenile. That's not the case. But when we start to regress, we go back to unconsciously the last point where we really felt safe and where we felt okay. And I'm looking at you going back mentally, psychologically. This isn't for the outer world to see, but you're going back to a space, again, psychologically, emotionally, etc., where you felt safe. That's your comfort zone. But we're suppressing the issue, not addressing the issue. And the reason why we're regressing is because we're not comfortable or we don't feel safe in our vulnerability. So then are we truly being authentic to ourselves? Or are we being unfair to ourselves? Why are we struggling with our vulnerability here? Why are you struggling with your vulnerability here? Because it's like a Leo that is wearing the weight of the world on your shoulders, and you're moving through life like, you know what, I got this. I'm gonna still go up there and kill it. I'm gonna lift my head high. I'm gonna still do what I gotta do. I know I'm amazing. I know I look attractive. I know I look good. I smell good. I know that I'm gonna go accomplish whatever the hell I want to accomplish. But on the inside, I feel like I'm looking at the child version of you needing a hug, needing to have your hand held, needing to be told I love you, needing to be told it's okay, you can be safe, you can be loved, it's okay, you don't always have to put on this strength, you don't always have to put on the brave face, it's okay to be in your vulnerability, it's okay to desire that comforting, that warm blanket that's going to tell you it's all right, you will be okay, you will get through, you will make it through this process, you will make it through this time. But you don't have that. And I think this is what, looking at your energy, I think this is what's, emotionally moving me, because why don't you have that? And then I have to go a little bit further, because if I'm looking at regression, then did you ever truly get that in the way that you needed it? Sometimes people will try to give us that comfort blanket in the way that they know how to, but it's not the way that we necessarily need it. So you still feel some lack. Okay, I wasn't planning on going that deep. Tell me what else, Spirit, for my Leos. We have the Six of Cups, Justice in the reverse, and the Six of Cups. Ten of Wands in the reverse. Who do you go to? Who do you go to lay down your burdens? Who do you go to unload and unwind? Who do you go to be vulnerable? Who do you go to when, yes, on the outward world, you have to save face, keep up appearances, you have to still grind and hustle it out and, still kick down the walls and break down doors. But when the day is done and you don't have to have that mask on, who do you go to say, it was a hard day. This really hurt me. This really upset me. I don't know what to do about this situation. I'm scared. I'm having fears. I'm having doubts. Because I'm not looking at an energy present here for you where you can unload or unwind, or at least not in the way that you need it, in the way that you can digest it, where you then feel safe and comfortable and vulnerable. And because, again, this is taking me back to, like, I don't want to keep mentioning it, but like I said, regression. There's something around your youth where you can pinpoint a safety a safety net or a time where you felt really safe. And that's what we tend to go back to unconsciously when we are dealing with heavy difficulties. Damn, I just want to hug you. Who am I reading for today? Who is this energy? What's the planning on this? What's the planning on this? Who energy is this? What else, Spirit, that we can tell my Leos? 5 of Swords, 6 of Pentacles, 9 of, and the Hermit. It's like I don't want to say every time, I don't want to categorize this as such, but it's like even when you've attempted to share vulnerable aspects of yourself with people, when you attempted to give insights on what you're feeling on the inside and what's going on with you, again, Hermit is on the bottom of the deck. It's like either people didn't understand you, they misunderstood you, they couldn't relate to you. It may have caused conflict or issue. People may have took your words out of context. People just couldn't really, or a person, it doesn't have to be multiple, or a person. It's like it did more damage than it did good by being vulnerable to somebody or being vulnerable to people. So now we have this mindset of, or at least this mental perspective, that it's better to just keep it inside. Why should I say it anyway? It's going to do no good. Why should I talk about my vulnerability? Why should I let it out? It's not going to do good anyway. It's life. Life happens. I still got to pick my head up and keep moving strong. I still have to pick my head up and keep moving forward. What's the point of even communicating this to somebody? But again, it's not healthy. You got to let this out. Otherwise, you're going to keep progressing. You need an outlet. Like on the outside, Leo, you got it. I ain't got to tell you nothing about it. I ain't got to tell you shit about that. You got it. You got your head up high. You're going to keep knocking down them doors, knocking on them walls, even when you don't feel like it and you don't want to, just naturally within you, because the Empress is here, but just naturally, cards aside, that's your energy. You're the sun. Don't ever forget that. And I know you won't. But that aside, who's nurturing you? Who's making a safe space for you? And I'm not saying this is somebody else's job, because it's not. But we all need someone to release to. We all need someone, and it feels like you've just been met with strife when trying to do so. I would tell you, it's not necessarily be cautious, but this can hinder your growth. And the more we repress and suppress or feel like we have to keep those vulnerabilities inside of us, and of course you have to be in balance with how much of your vulnerabilities you expose, because people can weaponize them against you. But there's still a healthy amount that you gotta let out, Leo. And I'm not seeing anybody really here in place for you to do so. Last few cards. Any advice we can give Leo with this? We got the 10 of Swords, 3 of Wands, and I want to get one more. Thank you. Ace of Pentacles in the reverse. Bottom of the deck is the Ace of Air. Don't do it for them, do it for you. Don't do it for them, do it for you. This is about taking the initiative. This is about stepping forward and speaking out, speaking up. So I don't know if this is a Leo that maybe, you may need to go to therapy, see a clinician. I'm not saying that you necessarily do, but maybe those are alternatives you may need to look at. Maybe you have to figure out other methods to really release it, whether it's through journaling, meditating, whether it's through forming a new spiritual practice, really getting into your spiritual practice, or even a religious practice, if that's your vibe. To each his own. Maybe even the people that's in your life that you've been confiding to or trying to use as a springboard for your vulnerability, if they aren't able to really understand you, or if it feels like it does more damage, or sometimes, you know how we cringe when we expose too much of what's going on the inside. Now it's like, oh, I'm uncomfortable. I wish I didn't overshare or share that much. If you're dealing with a person or people that make you feel unsafe, you are going to have to let that go. But you need an outlet here, Leo. I think that this feels, if I'm going to categorize this, because I wasn't expecting the reading to go here, but if I'm going to categorize this, This feels like a piece of a larger picture here that needs to be addressed, that will allow you to go on your way in life much more smoothly. This feels like if it's not addressed, even when you still go down the pathway that you're destined to go and that you're trying to travel, you're going to hit hiccups and speed bumps and road bumps because this becomes an issue. This starts to come up to the surface for you because it feels almost like you're it's like you suffocate with trying to be vulnerable and really express and release. So this has to be this, I feel like Spirit is pointing out to, for me, to a Leo, something that you really have to address within yourself so that way you can continue on your path much smoothly. Leo, I love you. You know I do. I ain't here for no reason. It's hot. It's hot here in Houston. I love you. Be well. Take care. Bye.